Hello, beautiful being. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jennifer. We are going to do a collective reading for the frequencies coming through the new moon in Virgo. This is a timeless reading, so even though I'm bringing this reading through during the time period of the new moon in Virgo in the year 2021, whenever you land on this video, if you're drawn to it and it resonates with you, then these messages are for you. These messages are timeless, but they are coming through the energies of the new moon in Virgo. So whatever is here at this time will be present when you watch the video. So when I think of the new moon in Virgo, I think of a lot of grounding and self-care, just a time to focus on really taking care of yourself and making sure you are taking time for you and loving you is kind of what the new moon in Virgo speaks to, I feel, with that the most each year. So we're going to see what messages want to come through. Spirit, today we are going to pull from the tarot, a few cards from the tarot to get the general energies for the next few weeks. And then actually for the month, Spirit's saying for the month, so these energies will be, this reading will be valid for about a month, even though I'm sure I will do other readings in between, and it can be helpful to watch the in-between collective readings as well, or the full moon readings, to just build on what you're experiencing and seeing here as it fills in as time goes on. So we are going to begin with the Spiritsong Tarot. This is a beautiful deck, animal tarot deck, with these really pastel, nature, feminine type feeling. I had the selenite heart there. This deck is by Paulina Cassidy. So I've already called in the guides and angels and the protection and cleared the space, and I have shuffled these decks a bit, or this deck a bit, and attuned things, so we're all ready to go. I'll just give it a couple more shuffles here. What are the energies that Spirit, would you like to share the messages that want to come through the energies right now for the collective who are receiving this reading, watching this reading? Thank you. Ten of Acorns. Responsibility, dedication. Responsibility and dedication. Trying to think what acorns are in this suit. I think they're earth. I'm not sure. No, crystals are earth. King of Crystals. Courage. Commitment. And that's a tiger. I'm seeing a lot of strength coming through that you're all moving into. Ooh, that's way too many. Powerful times. The Emperor, focus, stability. Yeah, coming into your power. Starting to take responsibility for the things that need to happen. Seven of Acorns, determination and stamina. What is that? Kind of looks like an otter to me, but I'm not sure. Might have to look that one up. Okay, I'm not going to take these, but one fell on the floor. No, a couple fell on the floor, so 4, look at that, just in time. Just enough. 3 of Feathers. Queen of Feathers. So this is air, Queen of Swords, and 3 of Swords. 9, the Hermit. And Queen of Crystals, or Queen of Pentacles, comfort and prosperity. So We have quite a bit going on here. And the Traveler, adventure and potential at the bottom of the deck. What I'm seeing here is that many of you, maybe all of you, some more than others, are working through a lot right now. A lot of transition, a lot of big questions about life, about decisions in your life. So this 10 of Acorns, the acorns are fire. And this is a donkey. And you know, donkeys are very strong and determined and can get through anything. So this is like a weight, a burden, something that you've really been trying to get through. And you know, there's this 3 of feathers is the 3 of swords. It's representing release and recovery. So you're starting, I feel like you're starting to move out of this a little bit, this feeling of being so, having to really push through something either internally or externally or both. And there's some heartbreak with this. So whether this is relationship oriented or work, career oriented or family oriented or whatever it is, friendships, there's heartbreak with what you've been pushing through. There's been a lot of releasing and a lot of need for recovery through this. But the King of Crystals is here, which is this beautiful tiger representing courage and commitment, which is like the King of Pentacles. So you have a determination. You're in this for the long haul. You're not going to give up on what you're creating, on what you want out of life, just because you might be shifting directions. Know that you have the power to create the sustainability in your life. And I think you know that. I think you're starting to feel pretty determined about that. This guy looks pretty content, like he's pretty sure of himself. And then the Emperor is right next to this as a cougar, another cat. And cats, like, I really feel like sovereignty is, you know, I keep saying, is a huge message for us right now in these times. Really honoring our own truth and the truth of others. It's hard to see people manipulated or coerced into making a decision. That's not sovereignty. But again, respecting everyone has their own path the best we can, of course. But no, really respecting other people's decisions especially when it's clear, I mean, in general, but especially understanding that sovereignty doesn't mean just because your right decision is someone else's right decision. So it's really honoring sovereignty in yourself and someone else. And this Emperor is about focus and stability. The cougar, traditionally, the Emperor is about leadership and your ability to be within your own power and the positive aspect of the masculine force and the masculine energy to really create things, create structures and foundations in life, creating life. So with the King of Crystals right next to the Emperor and with the 10 of Acorns, I feel like there's this push to really come into creating a life that really works for you, that works for you in the way that you want to see it happen, not by somebody else's standards. So here, I'll go through the clarifiers in a minute, but the 7 of Acorns is the 7 of Wands, determination and stamina, and this is Badger energy. So this is about really being determined and staying true to yourself and to your path, to your morals, to your ethics, whatever. I guess that's kind of almost the same thing. To your to your truth, to what feels right in your heart, and being determined to stay on the path that you want, or be on the path that you want to be on, and be determined to do this with love. The colors in this card are so soft, with the flowers too, and pink. It's like badgers are really intense, and this, in another animal card deck, the badger represents aggression. And so, but in this deck, with the energy of this card, I feel like it's more about, it is a little bit about defending your ground, but in a very loving, compassionate way, in a way that it embodies strength, but not necessarily aggression, just assertiveness and standing your ground, you know, that strength. And this Emperor right there next to this card, supporting that strength and that personal power. And with the Ten of Acorns here is a bit overwhelming, but I feel like Spirit is saying, you have this, you have it. That's what I keep hearing in my head right now. You have it, you've got this. So know that this is your strength. This is you committing to what you believe in, what you want to see. And it's heartbreaking. There's people, where is it? Yeah, there's the Seven of Wands. There's people that you, well, that is not so much that card, but I'm just getting this sense that there's people that, you know, you might have to disagree with, where it's uncomfortable and it creates heartbreak, creates pain within relationships, creates problems. But all of this, I'm feeling very strongly from this reading is, you know, have faith that so much can be healed. You know, we're really working through a huge transformation. And I love that the Three of Feathers in this deck is a moth. It's like this moth knows how to find the light in the darkness. And that's what we're doing. That's what you're doing. Is you have the strength here and the commitment and the personal empowerment to find the light in the darkness. And it's like I said, there is some sadness with this. There is some letting go, some releasing. But there's also healing in that, and a rebirth coming. Because then we have here, under the King of Crystals, we have the Queen of Feathers, which is perception and truth in this deck. Because the bat has the ability to perceive so sharply and keenly. So, you know, this is about you really honing in on your ability to discern. There's advice in the next card in the Hermit to go within, to take the time out to find the light within you, to find the answers within you. Meditate, walk in the woods, spend some time alone or listening to sound healing or do nature sounds, whatever it is that brings you inward, to find your personal, more of your personal truth and power. The Hermit here says contemplation and wisdom. It's a koala spirit. He looks pretty peaceful and meditative. And then so the bat is also classically, this bat medicine is also classically representative of shamanic death and rebirth. So death and rebirth, after this Three of Feathers, where there's this release and recovery, there is this rebirth. There is this commitment to creating. So this King of Crystals here, he's really good at manifesting, at creating in the real world, not just dreaming about it, but actually making it happen. And that's part of this, you know, this rebirth. You're going to create something new for yourself in this world, like physically in the world. And there's quite a bit of letting go and transformation involved in that. And how you're going to get through that, how you're going to remain in this, build this foundation and remain in your personal power and your independence, is through going within and knowing that the light that you seek is within you, and that will help cultivate this personal power within you. And then the Queen of Crystals, a beautiful last card for this deck, comfort and prosperity. So this is like the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Crystals, and it's a hedgehog in this deck. And it represents a very like connected to earth energy, very, very nurturing, very secure, very grounded, very prosperous. So this tells me, right under this determination and stamina card with the badger, is like holding your ground, building this new foundation for yourself, and trusting this rebirth process, and really staying committed, having the courage and the commitment to stay with it, is going to bring you into this Queen of Crystals place, where you just are comfortable. So she has, the hedgehog has the quills there on the back for protection, but she's nice and cozy underneath. So she's well protected, she's comfortable, she's got her spot. And I think many of us, especially I know a lot of you watching this are starseeds, light workers, old souls, people interested in creating a harmonious new earth, a place where there's more unity, consciousness, and more love. And so coming into this Queen of Pentacles for ourselves, whether you're male or female, this energy, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's just representing this like connection to Mother Earth, this connection to a feeling of abundance and in the way of like comfort, of like you just don't, there's no fear of losing anything. You're not in a place of feeling lack. So with the new moon in Virgo and self-care, this is, with all this determination and all this work we've been doing and all the heartbreak, really honor that Hermit energy. Take time. These are both major arcana cards. So there are strong messages here that, to me, is what it's saying is that as you take some time out, in nature and in meditation and for yourself, whatever that works for you, whatever it looks like for you, that's going to help bring you into this new foundation that you're looking for. Like I said, whether the foundation, I'm feeling like the foundation is actually physical for a lot of you, like a new physical foundation, whether it's a new physical job, a new physical house, a new something, but it can also be beliefs that lead to a new manifestation in your life. But, I feel like know that you're in a rebirth process and that that's the heartbreak that comes with it is natural. And I really feel like there's a lot of supportive energy in here that Spirit's saying that, like, again, I'm getting that message again of you've got this, you've got this. So I think some of you are doubting it sometimes, that you're just like in this overwhelmed place. I feel like you're coming out of it, but this overwhelm of just having to use so much determination and so much responsibility to deal with, and then that pain, the heartbreak, having to deal with some heartbreak at the same time as you pushing through physical responsibilities can often be very challenging. But I feel like there's a strong message in here that within this period, as we move through the new moon in Virgo, as long as we're honoring this self-care and this time of hermit, honoring the hermit time that we can, scheduling it for ourselves, making it a priority, we'll get through this in a really positive way. And standing your ground, I keep looking at this card, it feels like being very compassionate about your truth, but not giving in. I know a lot of people are under a lot of pressure right now, in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different areas, because there's a lot going on. So I feel like these are very strong cards. I hope you guys can feel that, or I don't know if you guys can feel that especially the top row. There's so much strength and determination here. It's like fire and earth and major arcana card for communication. And so for strength and for focus and stability and for really speaking your truth and being in your power here and knowing that the other great thing about this card, this 7 of acorns, this badger, this like compassionate badger, I love it. It's like a new earth badger. The new earth badger is compassionate, aggressive when it needs to be, but mostly just lovingly assertive and standing its ground. But the other great thing about this is this will help create the boundaries you're looking for. And the other great thing about this card is that, and you can see from the energy of it, is that it indicates, especially upright, it indicates that you will have success with this, that you will be successful at standing your ground in a compassionate, loving way. And this is all leading into this Queen of Crystals energy where you're just very comfortable and very in your power, and kind of in a new you, in a new grounded state of you, a new way of being you. So that's what I'm getting from the Tarot. And we're going to pull from the Moonology deck now and see what messages come through this deck. We're also going to pull some cards from the Starseed deck and the Work Your Light deck. and possibly one or two more decks, depending on the time and what spirit, how we're guided here. So what messages like to come through for those watching? Ooh, all right. So have faith in your dreams. And surrender to the divine. What is that? Full moon. The other one was waxing crescent moon. This is a full moon. Surrender to the divine. Both are beautiful purple colors. Very peaceful. Third eye energy, sixth chakra energy, that higher wisdom. Be bold and make the first move. So whatever that means for you, be bold and make the first move in your life. So, you know, isn't it always, it's like have faith, surrender, be bold and make the first move. So there is this dual message coming through, and I love that it's like this pink and purple kind of, and full moon and cardinal moon. So it's this energy of both at once, like the ability to take action and be bold in your desire and your actions towards your dreams and your future, but at the same time surrendering to the divine. So your surrendering doesn't mean sitting around and waiting for things to happen. You still are taking action and you're making moves towards what you want, towards creating all of this, creating this solid foundation in your life. But you're also surrendered to the divine in the sense of you're not dictating exactly how that's going to go or exactly what it's going to look like. You're just making the moves. And that feels like really important in here, like right, I'm seeing the Hermit again, of like, again, this is surrender. But then the Emperor is like, you know, focus and be clear and, you know, be bold and take action, be in that masculine energy of directive force and leadership. So Spirit is asking you to have faith and to be bold, make moves, but also surrender the outcome, surrender what it looks like, surrender your fears, surrender your expectations, your attachments, all of that. Just make the moves and trust that you are coming into this place of comfort, stability, prosperity, personal power, and freedom. Emperor card can represent freedom as well. Same with the, for me anyway, same with the Queen of Crystals. And so balance, spirituality, and practicality is the next message here. And to me, that kind of is what we were just talking about. Surrendering to the divine, but also being practical and doing the things that you need to do. And also this is like grounding your spiritual practices as well. You know, to me, this card's speaking about embodiment, like the embodiment of your spirituality, bringing it into your everyday life, bringing it into the chop wood, carry water scenario where, you know, everyday life, you're doing the tasks of every day, but you're still embodying spirit through that. You're surrendering to the divine. You're walking more and more in that energy and more in that frequency and that truth of being both at once, of really embodying that. You always are both at once, but really coming into awareness of that and working with that. And that is what the ascension is about. It's really about embodying this light. And my friend and I were talking about this the other day, and she was saying that she had a conversation with someone that shouldn't we be calling this the path of descension, because it's about your soul light or the higher light coming into the, you know, being more anchored into the body, coming into the body. But then, so that's true in the one sense. And then on the other hand, you can call it, it's called ascension because we're raising the frequencies. The frequencies are going up. So the frequencies are ascending, meaning the frequencies are getting higher. That means, you know, we're having more access to higher states of consciousness, more awareness of the totality of our being, of who we are in more truth, you know, of our existence, like a fuller awareness of like our body, our physical body, and our light body, just coming into that more. That's part of this awakening process, but it is an embodiment process. It is about, you know, feeling that and experiencing that spirituality and that connection, that energy connection, that quantum connection, that multidimensional connection within your physical experience, within your experience here on planet Earth. And that's why it's so exciting to your guides and angels and to the universe, this whole process, because it really is a cool experience to be so in that in-between of both at once, where you have a body, but you are also like tapped into your light body in a big way. And that's going to keep expanding for us. So really grounding in your spirituality, being grounded in it, you know, really surrendering, but also not expecting things to appear without your effort, without taking action, and taking responsibility for the things in your life you need to responsibility for. And I feel like faith is a huge message, especially as the first one that came out over here with the heartache and the really feeling overwhelmed in life. So just have faith that you know, you are not alone. The divine is with you. Your guides and angels are with you. You have a lot of support in this world as well, and the physical world. So have faith and surrender, and keep moving forward with all of this energy that you've been using, and take the time to take care of you, because it's all coming into this place where you're going to have more comfort and prosperity. We're all in huge transition right now. So that was a kind of a big message around that card, kind of pulling them all together, but really balancing your spirituality and your practical life and mission. And then hold your vision. So kind of the same thing. Hold your vision. This has been a message that's been coming through over and over again. Hold the vision of what you want to see created in this world. In your life too, like whatever it is, don't give up. And keep visualizing it, because visualizing it actually helps a lot. And so that is the fixed moon. And then the full moon in Gemini, the answers you need are coming. Have faith in that. The answers that you need are coming. And that's what I felt from the Tarot as well, that there are answers coming for you. You're determined, you've been hanging in there, and keep the faith, because it's all coming through this time where you contemplate, you will and go within, you will have visions, and then hold on to those visions, and the answers are coming. That's what I'm hearing Spirit say. And the energy is gaining momentum right now, or soon. And it's under here, as you surrender to the divine. So having faith in your dreams, hold on to the vision, hold your vision. That's part of how you keep your faith. Surrender to the divine. The answers you need are coming. So as you surrender, the answers are coming, and then be bold and make the first move, and the energy will gain momentum. Let's see what wants to come out for under balance, spirituality, and practicality. Can we get one more card, Spirit? Oh yeah, I just got reminded of something too. That, let's see. Get one more card to clarify. Oh, there it is. Oh. Yes. Under balance, spirituality, and practicality, we've got, what do you need to release? And that with that other card, the Three of Feathers, releasing, recovery. Waning moon, what do you need to release in order to bring balance back? And then two other cards that flipped out, even though I asked for one, is it's the way it goes. Sometimes, great messages, thank you, Spirit. It's time to release negativity. So anything that's holding you back, any negative thoughts or feelings that and then emotions are running high. So yeah, these emotions can be running high, especially with this like negative energy. So what do you need to release? It's time to start moving forward in the direction of your dreams and having faith in the vision you want to create. And whatever, when your emotions are running high, you're being triggered by something. So it's time to take responsibility for that. And know that it's just a trigger, that it has a message for you. And if there is negativity within it, allow yourself to release that. Release any leftover pain or heartbreak or any illusions. I heard this the other day, and it's like sometimes you hear things, you know, and then it just like sticks with you. It's like such a message from Spirit. Oh, what did she say? Let go of any illusions that it could have been any different. So there's just something so powerful of that, of like let go of any, because sometimes we do, I feel like this message is important for a lot of you, maybe not all of you, so take it as it resonates as usual. But, you know, it's just, we can get really caught up on, oh, you know, if we only had done that, or what if we do this, you know, we could have done that, it could have gone differently. If they hadn't done it this way, it would have been better. You know, sometimes blaming the other person. Either way, whether it's you or them, it's just letting go of trusting that everything has been happening in the divine order that it was meant to happen in, and that there are no mistakes, and there's only forgiveness and love in the universe. There's this benevolent force that loves you. So there's this, even if there's like something that feels like a mistake, it's just this, Spirit just recycles it into a beautiful opportunity to learn. If you can hold your vision in that direction and have faith and really surrender into all of this and release negativity and trust that everything that is happening is absolutely divine, and that let go of any illusions of control, that you could have done it differently or that it could have turned out differently, because it didn't. So you couldn't have. And so trusting that you can't go back, and even trying to is pointless because you can't change it. And just trusting that it's all perfect, that maybe even if you went back to change it, maybe you couldn't. So I feel like that's an important message for a lot of you, that just release any illusions that it could have been any different. And I think that goes true. I'm hearing that is also true for the collective. Like any illusions that things could be different out there in our world right now, all the craziness that's happening in our collective outer world, it's a lot. And sometimes we think, if this had happened, if that had happened, it could be different, it could be different. And Spirit's saying, let go of any illusions that it could have been any different, and just stay in the now. What is happening now? What do you need to release? What do you need to forgive? The golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, pure gifts. So I feel like this is a message of you're being guided back to that purity within you, back to that childlike innocence, and back to healing wounds. Again, these emotions are running high and there's negativity because of triggers. So maybe doing some inner child work, loving those parts of yourself that need to be loved. Having the tenderness, trusting in the innocence of your heart, and the innocence of love, and the innocence of what we can, you know, we can regenerate that innocence at any point on this planet. And then the 7 star sisters came out, the Pleiades energy, birthing creations, the tapestry of life and expression. So I feel like this card is saying the more that you can express, more you can express your true self. And like the first tarot cards were saying, like walk your path, you know, really create your foundation and your truth and your abundance and your prosperity in this life. You are creating the tapestry of life and this beautiful expression that we're creating in the new earth here. This beautiful, we're birthing creations together, all of us. So don't think that anything that you're doing is insignificant, because it absolutely is not. Everything that you do is a new creation. Let's see. And that was the Starseed Oracle deck. Whoa, sorry. That's not good. That was the Starseed Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell, and the artwork on here is by Danielle Noel. And I'm using another deck of theirs. It's very similar right now, called the Work Your Light deck. see if we can have a couple messages from this deck about all of this for the new moon in Virgo, for those watching, for these frequencies. The collective, anything, any messages from the Work Your Light deck? Maybe not. I'll take these. Ooh, Council of Life. I'm sorry, Council of Light. Divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Beautiful. So a reminder to call on your guides and angels. You have help. And the Pleiades here too. I feel like this is like the star. Your guides and angels are peeking through, and the star beings are peeking through like, hey, we're here to help you. Anytime you need us, we're helping you weave this tapestry of life. We're helping you birth these creations. We're helping them with this is like divine orchestration, you know, the flow and beautiful, miraculous things that happen in our world come from these subtle realms. And so they're with us, they're helping us, they're with you, they're helping you. And then this card came out in the last collective reading, I believe, and it's an important message from Spirit. It says no, wait, postpone, pause, or say no. So that could be a very personal message for you, specifically where you know what Spirit's saying to you right now when they're like, hey, no, pause, postpone on this, take a minute. So when it, you know, where there is that wait, postpone, pause, so it doesn't have to be a definite no, but I'm feeling that you will know inside if this is a definite no for you. But for many of you, there's something that you just know that is a wait a minute or pause a minute on this kind of thing. And then the overall message I'm getting collectively for all of you through this card is to really continue to cultivate, especially with it coming right under this balance, spirituality, practicality, and what you need to release. It wants to lay here over these two cards, and I'm feeling really strongly that there's a strong collective message in here about boundaries and about knowing what to say no to. That it's extremely important as we're building all this energy into the future and creating all these new foundations. Knowing what to say yes to and what to say no to is extremely important. We're birthing new life. We're creating a whole new world for ourselves as well as the collective. So, and a lot of times I think that I tend to feel that collectively we, as the whole collective, at least our Western culture, collectively kind of has this codependency type thing to it, you know, social acceptance of that, where you give yourself away constantly. And I mean, there is always, of course, that balance, right? You're weighing between, like, you want to, you know, serve others and you want to be there for others, but there's a point where that line can be drawn within yourself where you know it's right to say no, or you know it's right to pause for a minute. And a lot of times we don't, because we're afraid of being rejected or abandoned or hurting someone else, or whatever the story is that we go through. And it's really, that's part of what we're developing, I believe, as we move into higher states of consciousness, is more of an inner truth awareness of what our yes and what our no is. And so I feel like your Council of Light, your guides and angels, you know, are really available to help you with knowing when no is your truth, and not feeling guilty about it. That's a problem that comes up, right? So much guilt. Like, you say no because that's your truth, and that's what it feels right from your heart and your soul to say no. That's your boundary. That's your loving choice. And it's not negative in that sense, because it's a loving choice. But then a lot of us, especially those of us with big hearts, or healers, or starseeds, or light workers, or just, you know, sensitive souls, we just feel guilty for saying no, almost to the point where so many of us have spent so much of our lives suffering just to not feel someone else suffering. And the empaths, that's the word I was looking for, empaths, because we can feel other people's pain very, very genuinely, very literally. So we don't want someone else to suffer, not only because our heart doesn't want them to suffer, but then also because we feel that on some level. So really strengthening this no, it will strengthen your empath boundaries. You won't, over time as you cultivate this, I've been working with this for a bit, not that I've mastered it, but I have noticed that the more I honor myself in that truth and say no when I need to, in a loving, compassionate way, in whatever way is called for in the moment, it strengthens my abilities to say no, to have those boundaries, and to not feel bad about it, to know that I'm loving myself and that I am making a loving decision and that I am still loving to other people. Because where we get this story where we say no once or twice and suddenly we're like bad people is we do these things to ourselves. And this message is coming through strongly for all of you to start to build that strength within you, because it's self-love and it will serve you, and you will still be an empath. You'll still feel other people's things to a certain degree, but you'll have that, you won't go into that deep shame and guilt. You won't go into that emotional trigger and all the negative pattern thoughts that go with it. And so these things can stop us from taking this path that really is right for us. It doesn't stop us maybe in the long run, maybe it does, but often it's just like creates more suffering, creates dead ends, a lot of frustration, and sometimes we do miss certain opportunities. Again, everything's all perfect, right? It just will wind around to whatever else we need. But at the same time, we don't want to miss things like that. We want our life to flow. We want to work with spirit and with the flow of life as much as possible. And sometimes saying no is the perfect thing to do to facilitate a really beautiful flow. So keep that in mind. And then, yeah, many of you are Starseeds. And so the Starseeds card came out. And it's asking, what lights you up? Say no to the things that don't light you up, especially if there's a should around it. Like, just if there's a should there, just throw it out. I mean, to a point, of course, right? We have responsibilities. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. But you know what I'm saying. You know, if like I should meditate this way, or I should be being more spiritual in this way or that way. No, just look at what lights you up. Say no to the things that don't. It's okay. Like, even if tons of other people you know love doing that, and it totally lights them up, and they keep asking you to do it and asking you to do it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. So feel free to say no to the things that don't resonate with you, because we're following our truth right now. That's part of the sovereignty, and we're not all here to do the same thing. I mean, I know that's an obvious message, but sometimes we just need to keep hearing that, because we do, as human beings, have this natural default kind of setting. Some of us are more independent and adventurous than others, but overall, human beings as a species have this desire to fit in and to be part of a community and to be accepted. So really accepting yourself first, so that you know what that is, so that you know what you're looking for, and then you can find the people who love and accept you for who you are and who are in alignment with what you're looking for, rather than just falling into a belief system or a group that you don't really feel accepted by, or that you want to be involved with. So, to the unicorn messages, sorry, I lost my train of thought because I'm feeling something come through these cards. I'm going to end this reading with some messages from the unicorn cards. This is one of the unicorn decks by Diana Cooper. So we'll see what wants to come through from here for you. I feel like that is a message that just keeps coming through strongly in this reading. Is just, I feel like Spirit really wants to remind you that it's really important to remember that we all have very unique purposes and very unique gifts. And it's a really interesting, changing time in history right now. So really honoring everyone as much as you can, even when you're in your triggers. Honoring yourself, like if you're like, how come what I am doing or feeling or expressing doesn't look like other people or whatever, because we're all unique and it's okay. We've had so much separation, and as you can see, the shadows being triggered out of that separation right now. We're seeing a lot of separation energy and division energy moving through the collective, and it's partially this mirror of these parts of ourselves that are in division, aspects of who we are that we're not accepting, that we're not having compassion for, that we're not honoring. So knowing that we all are here we're all here to work together, and it's not one thing is better than the other, and we all have our unique gifts, and some people's unique gifts are similar to other people's gifts, and sometimes it's not, and it's just really getting comfortable with that. We have been so uncomfortable with that in such baby stages of consciousness development, with this is different than me, or I need to reject it because it's different than me, or if enough people have it also, now I need to conform. So we're moving out of all of that fearful expression of who we are in this realm. So that's a message that's coming through for you. If it resonates, to help you understand, I feel like Spirit's wanting us to help understand what's happening to us right now. So that's part of what is happening, is we're really just starting to literally think and experience life differently, and our own expression, so knowing that, like, for so many, for so long, and definitely for all of our lives, conforming and being like others is how you were accepted, it's how you fit in, it's how you have family. And we're really moving into a place of unity consciousness, where there are all these multidimensional colors and facets, and where people are really valued for their differences. And because we can see that at that level of consciousness, we can see that we're all one, that we do have this common thread. We don't need to conform to create a common thread anymore, because we see the divinity, we see the etheric thread, we see the connection between all of humanity, between all of life. So we don't need to we're not so afraid of differences in the external, in the physical, in the creation of unique gifts, because we suddenly see that makes everything beautiful. There's no fear. There's nothing to fear, because we are all connected. Being different isn't going to disconnect us. And I think that's what just one part of what we're seeing work out collectively right now, and what might be working out for you internally, because it's coming through in this reading right now for those listening. So thank you, Spirit, for that message, and thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your energy and feeling you, and that I hope these readings are uplifting for you, help give you guidance and support. That's really the intention of what I want to bring through for all of you. I really, really do appreciate you being here. And if you're enjoying this, please go ahead and like this video. It helps me a lot. It helps circulate this a lot. This channel, these readings, for people who might need them or want to see them. It helps bring that out more. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, and you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you be a part of this collective community. So thank you again, all of you, for being here and for your presence. So as we get into the unicorn messages, the first thing, similar message to the hermit, the silence. Be still, for all the answers lie in the silence. So again, go within, meditate, take some time out, be alone, or be with one of your quieter friends. Not me. I'm not the quietest friend. I do tend to talk a lot. I can be silent, though. If you tell me to be silent, I'll be silent. But yeah, be still. Go into that be in that deep place where you can surrender to the divine and receive these answers. So there's a stillness there with the water too. It helps being in that place, in that meditative space of silence and stillness, will help soothe these emotions that are running so high. It'll help still the emotional waters, is what I'm hearing. And I haven't called out a lot of numbers. I haven't been, interestingly, I'm usually really drawn to the numbers, but I haven't really done that today in the tarot. But I am feeling called to this number 30 here, and I'm feeling like a 3, that energy of creation, And from this stillness, you can build this creative force, this creative energy in your life. You can find these answers you're looking for that might seem elusive at times. And the next card that's coming through is the King of the Unicorns. And the message here is, you are blessed with majesty, vision, and power. So again, there's that vision energy and the power that you have in your visioning. Have faith in that. And I see in here 3 unicorns. Well, they're these, I forget what they're called. I have to look that up. What they're called when they're the Pegasus and the unicorn. But I know it's symbolic of a fully ascended heart chakra and a fully ascended third eye chakra, the horn and the wings. But then there's 3 of them in here. So again, that number 3, like this, you are coming into your power with the Emperor. So you are blessed with majesty. The Emperor is definitely majesty, right? Someone who's in their own leadership, their own power, whatever that looks like. Doesn't have to be a leader that's like standing up in front of everyone on a stage. You can lead in your life just by being you, and others see you being authentic and true to yourself, like this badger, like standing your ground and being true to your ideals and your heart. And that brings you this quality of majesty and power, and that people can see. And it also, like, the message here is that your visions will have power. So use your visioning to create things in your life, to manifest. And this is a 6. So again, wow, 3, 6, 42 is the number. So I really feel like there's a lot of power, magic 3 here, a lot of the creation, manifestation power. And then intuition, again, a 6. So wow. To me, so a 6 can also be a romance number. So for some of you, this is very directed towards divine union, because the way this reading came through, so I'll address this angle for some of you, it won't resonate for all of you. So the way this came through, it's like divine union energy, or energy of a long-term partnership, maybe one that you're already in that's kind of rebuilding, that you're rebuilding the energy of. If it is partnership, there's that with the 6s coming through, that there is this ability to build this foundation again. But it's really feeling to me like overall the reading is in your life in general. There's this power of this magic creation, this pyramid energy, this 3, the 6 reminds me of the Merkaba. So, and other things, there's so many magical, you could go into a lot of things. I don't know that much about it. You could go into a lot of things with numbers. You can look it up if you're interested. Of course, there's a lot of information out there, but I feel like these 3s and 6s are significant. As a total, it adds up to 15, and then so that then ends up, when you add the 5 and the 1, it adds up to another 6. So there's really 6. 6 is also about balance to me, coming into balance. And so I think all of this is you are coming into a place of comfort, prosperity, balance in your life. It's going to take work, determination, commitment, faith, all of that, surrender, action, but you're doing it. And so your intuition can guide you. Listen to your inner wisdom. Your intuition is your guiding light, and that is another huge message that has been coming through collectively for me. I think for other people as well, is like, well, and I've been sharing with a lot of clients that, to me, that's what sovereignty is about. That we're in a very changing time in history. We are in the ascension. This is not normal times, no matter what we want to make normal about it. It's not going to be, because we're changing at a very dramatic rate. So sovereignty requires a strong connection to your intuitive sense, your intuitive knowing. Because at this point, my personal opinion is that anything, like, we used to be able, even 20, 30 years ago, we could kind of depend on research. Like, oh, I want to know something, let me go research it and find the answer. And we still can do that, of course, to a certain degree, but I feel like right now we're in a place where you can't hold on to research in the same way that you used to be able to. You can't hold on to truth from organizations the way you used to be able to hold on to them. There's so much shifting right now in power structures and energetic structures that, like, the reason I say that about research is because literally anything that you want to prove, you can find research that proves it. You can find experts, scientists. You can find the data. And a lot of people don't want to hear this, so I'm sorry if this is triggering. This is just my opinion. Take it as it resonates. I'm not trying to upset anyone. I'm just saying, like, your intuition is super important, because as you're researching, you need to feel into, does this feel like truth to me? It doesn't matter if it's backed by 8 billion or 8 billion experts. Like, does it feel intuitively right to me? And let me follow the signs and, like, almost like the gemstones leading you, like these gems of intuition. Let me follow these signposts towards the things that feel true to me, because there's a lot of information out there, a lot of confusing information, and it's very difficult to get to the root of anything, and it's time consuming, and who has time for that, you know? So, and that is I feel like the final message of this reading today for our new moon in Virgo, of, like, really remembering to hone in on your intuition and, you know, really your own energy. See how he's creating that golden ball of light, like right around his Tantien, which is, you know, some of you know what that is, but it's like a centering and power, energetic center within us. Whereas our core, kind of a center of our being, where our stability, our truth. So follow your intuition as the main guiding force. Of course, don't, you know, again, it's this balanced spirituality with practicality. Do research, be smart, look around, you know, do the research with your head, but then use your intuition to be the, you know, the real determining factor, or at least a very powerful piece of the determining factor. I feel like that is a message that's been coming through over and over and over again, is that, you know, believe what you believe, research what you want to research, but listen to your intuition deeply, and then stand your ground with it, because it's your truth, and it doesn't, at this point, say no to what you need to say no to. At this point, it doesn't really matter if it's somebody else's truth. Just try to be loving about that. Try to be understanding that we're in a very changing, confusing time, and to be forgiving, and to start to see, because all of you are on these higher frequencies. All of you listening to this or drawn to this video have the ability at this point, whether you believe you do or not, Spirit's telling me you most certainly, definitely do have the ability to tap into the unified connection between all of us, the love within all of humanity, the life force within all of humanity, the God spark, so to speak, within all of us, the light, the starlight within all of us. So tapping into that, and then knowing that these differences are okay, and that we're going to work it out, and to keep following your intuition, and know that you have the vision, the majesty, and the power to bring your life into this place. All of these earth energies, all of these fire and earth creation energies and manifestation energies, that you have the strength to do this. I feel like there's a huge message coming through at the end of this reading to remind you that, again, you've got this. You can do this. Whatever this is in your life, keep the faith, hold your strength, hold your ground, and do it with love, and keep visioning what you want, and don't give up. The answers are coming. The momentum's building. It's all coming. This comfort, this prosperity, this connection to earth, to peace, to the life that you want to create and see, and you're doing it. So, and you've got this, they're saying again. I love how they keep saying that. Maybe that should be the title for this reading. So thank you so much again for being here. If you haven't already subscribed and you'd like to, please subscribe, and please like this video if you enjoyed it. Love and blessings to you. I'll see you next time.